Alright then guys, welcome to the video, welcome back to the channel. This is something that's come out of nowhere actually. Can't really turn down an opportunity like this. This is going to be my first ever experience in a GTR. First experience of anything plus 500 horsepower. First experience of a car on E85. It smells pretty good actually, first time I've ever smelled it. Joel, yeah, for anyone that doesn't really know, what's sort of the baseline, what are the sort of numbers to do with this GTR?
So at the moment, we have just put obviously ethanol in the car, so we're somewhere roughly around about the 1,000 horsepower mark. Yeah, it'll be about 2 bar boost. Obviously got built engine, built gearbox. Yeah, so go and have some fun.
My assumption is that today is going to be the day where all cars forever are ruined because nothing's ever going to come close to how fast this thing is going to be. Let's jump out in the car and let's see what this thing's like with 1,000 horsepower. This thing sounds insane.
You're ready to get it out on boost.
Was it 1,000 wheel horsepower?
It'll be about 1,000 at the crank. So
oh, right, yeah.
1,000 wheels coming.
Nice.
Let's head out.
Let's do this. So, in full triple R mode.
I do normally turn traction control off. For the first outing on ethanol, whilst we see the roads potentially still a little bit damp and stuff, we'll see what it's like. The clutch setup and stuff in this, it's on a very, very tight clutch clearance. It has got quite a lot of clutch line pressure on it. With a lot of the gearbox components, we are trying to sort of test them, so we are testing at their extremes. We purposely put stuff on as tight as clearances, you know, putting a lot of pressure on it. This car has been launched over 40 times on this gearbox setup.
And you're trying to find the breaking point so that for customers, you know, you can say this is, Sounds so good.
Yeah, it does. So this is our custom 4-inch straight pipe exhaust system.
Right. And yeah, obviously as you guys can see, the rear is stripped out, so I can hear more stones flicking up and everything as well. But what an insanely raw experience this is.
It is, and that's the thing I love about these cars is there are cars that can technically maybe do certain things better, but you still get the raw driving experience off these.
It's mad that this is 1,000 brake horsepower yet it's just driving it like a normal car.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I mean, the particular road surface here isn't the best, so it does make it a little bit more bumpy, but
but yeah, I mean, like, to be honest, it feels similar to my Civic. I mean, that's probably the only thing you can relate. It's cool that you can hear the turbo spool.
Yeah, you do get a lot of the turbo whistle out of it. You do get a little bit of noise out of the blow-off valves and stuff as well. Yeah, you don't hear much over the exhaust though.
Yeah, it is pretty loud in it.
So what we've also got on here as well is we have all the map switching. I can adjust all the boost and everything on the fly. Read all our ethanol content. If you look at the coolant temperature, when I hold this button down, that shows us our ethanol content.
Oh, so right.
We're currently on 53% of ethanol. It's a shame the roads are so bumpy around here. We do have our nice little Mexico spot.
So before this, the fastest car I think I've been in is just a standard like C63 AMG.
Yeah, so a lot of wheel spin.
And they're what, like 550 brake or something like that?
Yeah, if you're used to daily driving this power level, like I said, you jump in a 650 horsepower car and think, where's the boost?
That's the mindset, isn't it? Because to me, like, this is 4 times more powerful than the Civic. I don't even know how to comprehend that in my brain at the moment. Whereas I guess for you, like, this is the norm.
Yeah, it is. Like I said, it does be, you know, it becomes one of those that when you are used to them, it does become the normal. So you can still drive it to the shops as well as having 1,000 horsepower. 20 years ago, for you to have an 800 horsepower car was a very big deal. You'd have a ridiculously heavy clutch and you couldn't pull away nicely in traffic and stuff. Whereas, you know, with technology and the way a car's gone nowadays, you can have 1,000 horsepower daily driver. You've never even been out in a stock GTR before?
No, this is my first full ever even sat in a R35. Okay, here we go, guys. Wow, that is insane. It's just like, it just doesn't feel like it ends.
No, it doesn't. Like I said, once you're up to the bigger turbo sizes, one of these with an OEM turbos, you will find higher up the rev range they do start running out.
Yeah, because it's more of a mid-range turbo, but this just keeps going.
You know, even from just a 6th gear pull No, the sense of speed is very, very deceptive in these.
I don't even know if I've been that fast in the Civic.
We'll see if we can try and get a little bit of grip in second.
So sick. I don't know how to explain it.
It is a very weird sensation the first time that you do experience it.
I don't know what I was expecting, but it doesn't feel like...
Because the car handles it so well.
Yeah.
I do find that, like I said, you know, with your smaller, lighter, less sound-deadened cars, the sense of speed is massively so more. Obviously, we are out on quite an open road as well.
Yeah. Because everything is so well sorted with it, it doesn't feel unsafe.
A lot of people's conception is getting into a 1,000 horsepower car, you're sliding all over the road, you can't get traction, it is very unsafe. Whereas it's just not the case with these.
Like, I knew it would handle it because obviously people push even more power out of these, so I knew it wasn't like... I just don't know how to convey over video what this is like. You just can't tell when there's a gear change. There's like no dip in anything.
No, it does just keep pulling and pulling. But like I said, you know, that's a dampish road. We're on Michelin 4Ss, so still, you know, a street tyre or putting 1,000 horsepower down with no wheel spin.
Yeah, it's just impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, the way the car handles it is impressive.
Yeah.
The speed it gains is impressive. Like, there's just so many different areas that it's like, it's just amazing that it's 1,000 and it's just doing it. That's what I think blows my mind the most, is it's just, it works.
Going back sort of 10, 15 years ago, you could not do this in a street car. You could not go out and put this sort of power down and cruise up the dual carriageway on street tyres in the damp and be able to put the power down.
Yeah. That's what I think is so nuts about it.
It does make some cool noises.
I'm speechless, but not for the reason why I thought I would be speechless.
Yeah.
Like, it is just so... It is incredible for so many different reasons. I mean, how often do you drive it with the E85? It can't be often, surely.
Normally when I run out of pump fuel at the workshop. Yeah, it's not all the time. Like I said, I'd say probably 80% of the time it is on the pump fuel. Obviously when you do go to events and stuff like that, if you do decide to have a couple of horsepower extra behind you, then, you know, we can throw a little bit of extra in. But that is the beauty with the, you know, with the technology nowadays, with these flex fuel setups. Whether I put 10% ethanol in, or 90% ethanol, or 100% ethanol, the ECU can calculate all of that and adjust the map to suit. So it's not a case of having to map it for every 1% of ethanol. Which, like I said, you know, the beauty of flex fuel, you can go and pull up to the petrol station, put it on pump fuel, and then when you do want a bit more, throw some ethanol in it. It is throw it in and go. Obviously the car has to be tuned originally for the flex fuel setup. But
there is no compromise.
No.
Like, you have all of this power and performance. You can choose when you change the fuels. You can drive it normally. Like, there are no downsides.
Yeah, no, exactly that. Like I said, you know, right at this moment in time, we're cruising along at 45 mile an hour behind the Toyota Hilux.
Yeah, realistically, it's these GTRs and then the R8s and the Hurricanes, really, isn't it? That are like the three that I've considered in this bracket of like mega horsepower but still usable.
Yeah, with the R8s and the Hurricanes coming along, with the advancement in technology from, you know, when the GTRs were first made, you know, you are talking technology. These cars were launched in 2007. So they are getting close to, you know, almost 20 years old, some of them now. So the V10 twin turbo platform is that another level again. You're talking being able to run 14 to 1500 wheel horsepower on a bone stock engine, which is just ridiculous. I've had companies like Underground and stuff been going for absolutely years, but you know, within the last few years with Sheepy, T1, all the big American companies, you know, starting to push the boundaries of them now. The records have been broken on new setups, stock engines and etc. And for what you can do on a stock engine on that platform is ridiculous.
Yeah.
In the GTR community, it is one of those. 1,000 horsepower is what used to be a stage 4.25.
Yeah.
Which your basic bolt-ons are seen as quite a big deal. Whereas nowadays, you know, it is built engine, built gearbox, bigger turbos, bigger intercooler setup. 1,000 horsepower is the new standard for a GTR. Did you think that it would be sort of this drivable at the same time?
I didn't know if there was a trade-off somewhere, basically, but there isn't one.
I would say the fuel consumption.
Yeah.
We would like to try and get it out on circuit at some point as well, before we go to the extent of, you know, too much horsepower, where it does make it unusable on circuit.
Yeah, this feels like it would be great on a track, like this, which is mad. 1,000 horsepower street car would be fine. Because I guess, beyond this, it becomes more of a straight line car, really, doesn't it?
Well, my personal experience from these would be to sort of say, once you're 11 to 1200 wheel horsepower mark, that is sort of at the point where you sort of go, that's sort of what's capable on the road, and more than that, then you are looking in the, you know, more to chasing quarter mile times, going up to the drag strip, etc.
I guess it's that it doesn't feel like it's modified.
No.
Which is the ultimate compliment in a way, because
it does it so flawlessly.
Yeah. I think the only way you'd be able to quantify how fast it is if you were to just do a drag race between this and my Civic, for example. Just as like, that's the only way I think in my head I could be like, it's this much faster. I just don't get that sense of that it's
trying to kill you.
Yeah, I guess.
Just to give you some sort of perspective, if you look in the back mirror in 5 seconds time, that was an hour.
That's the fastest I've ever been in a car, I think.
You do feel pretty safe in it at the same time, like even when
that's what's I think crazy, is it doesn't feel like you're doing the speeds you're doing, and there is no sketchiness to it. It just feels like it's just doing what it normally does. I can see why they're so popular, but I can also see why people will do like the basic bolt-ons or whatever, and then I can see how that can just be like normal.
Yes.
It doesn't take long for that to feel normal, just because of how effortlessly this car does it.
Yeah, from my personal experience from having one of these, I bought a standard one, it lasted 12 hours.
I was definitely expecting like 2 months or something like that.
No.
12 hours.
No.
Let's say someone wanted this. In terms of like the day-to-day maintenance wise on running this much power, are there extra steps you have to do compared to a stock car, or is it pretty similar?
Not too far off, obviously. Stuff like engine oils, gearbox oils and stuff like that, we recommend those to, you know, be replaced more frequently, more so due to the fact that, you know, obviously bigger turbos running, you know, increased turbo speeds and stuff like that, it will just degrade the oils quicker.
So basically the negatives are fuel consumption, and that's it.
And the possibility to quite easily lose your licence, I guess.
Yeah.
I think bang for buck, you cannot get anything on the same level as this for the same price.
Yeah.
What this car is as well, it is a very basic spec. You know, this is stock cams, stock valves. We have got upgraded valve springs.
Yeah.
That was more of a precautionary and a safety margin because we wanted to rev it just that little bit higher, but you know, it's a stock block, it's the stock crank, it's stock head bolts. This is effectively really an engine that has had forged pistons, forged rods, it's had replacement bolts and bearings and stuff, but you know, like I said, it's still the OEM head bolts. It is still a relatively stock engine. It hasn't been bored out to a larger size with an oversized piston. It hasn't got upgraded cams. It hasn't got upgraded valves with titanium retainers. This is quite a basic spec engine for, you know, for the power output.
Yeah.
And it's a reliable setup. It does get daily driven. It's got over 40 launches on it, and I can generally put my hand on my heart and say this has not broken.
Well, I guess it's also a nod to Nissan for over-engineering the engine in the first place to even be able to handle all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, once you start breaking the engines down and you see the quality of the machine work from an OEM perspective, you can see why they take it. Everything is machined to very fine tolerances. The construction of the engine and the layout, etc., it's all very well thought about. With a lot of these Japanese cars, they might not have the prettiest screen and the nicest interior, but in terms of the actual capabilities from the mechanical side of things, they are phenomenal, really. I mean, even with your Civics, look at just what a standard K20 engine, which was from, you know, look how long ago the engineer, you know.
Well, yeah, it would have been late 90s that actually got created and developed, because it was 2001 when the first EP3 came out.
Yeah, but yeah, it is just a testament to the Japanese engineering.
So good. Wow. I think the overall word I can use, if I had to sum up in one word, is just impressive. I think that's the only way. I didn't know what to expect, because obviously I've never been anything like this, but I didn't expect it to be so effortless and so easy. Like, there is no downside, because usually you'd be like, oh, if you have to run this much power, you have to compromise somewhere else. And there is no compromise with this, apart from obviously the fuel bill. So thank you very much, Joel, for taking me out.
That's right, it's no problem at all.
What an insane experience. Basically, guys, if you want to build cool GTRs or anything cool, hit up Joel at Ignite Automotive. Links will be down in the description. Go check out the channel if you want some slower car content. My Hondas are definitely going to be nowhere near this sort of speed ever. Thanks again, Joel. Comment down below what you think. Like this one, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.